Hi, I'm back. It's Jamie, and in this session I wanted to show you about stamps. As you can see, I got tons of stamps over here. I love stamps, and one of my favorite things to do recently is to take stamps, existing ones that I have, and break them down into smaller elements and then use them, separately. So for example, I have this big woodblock stamp here. This is really pretty, and it takes a lot of effort to push it into the clay. So instead of doing this big piece all the time, what I've done is I've created separate pieces. So I have this little small piece goes from here, I have this here, and then when I did this middle half section, I did two of them and put them together to create a whole. So now I can do any kind of design. I could repeat this pattern that's here, or I could just create my own. Some more examples would be this flower arrangement here, one of my other favorite stamps. And here I have these two little stamps taken from this. And then this is pretty interesting. What I did is I took out this section here, and then I took out this section up here, and now I can use these as a border around things, and it's just delightful. It's really fun. Sometimes you might have wood blocks, and only one part of it is interesting. So like these little guys, all I did is I just took this little piece out of it and this little piece out of it, and that's what I use mostly. So I'll show you two things. I'm going to show you how I would deconstruct a design, and then also I'll show you how to make a woodblock stamp, the form, the mold for it. So the design that I'm looking at right now that I'm really enjoying is from this pillow. I love these flowers on here. And so you can see I have this big flower here, and then I have this half flower here and this little baby flower here. So instead of creating just, three stamps, boom, 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 what I'm going to do is created pieces, and some of them can be shared, like these petals here. There's also that same configuration here, and then these little pieces that are part of this thing that jets out, part of the flower, I can do that too. So let me show you what I created. I have this round guy for the big flower, then I have the petals with the three prongs here, and also for here. I have my leaves in various places, and then I have this little element which is right here, and it's also found on the big flower around here. And I'm also going to use it as this flower here, and this is the half round for up here. This is the bottom of the bud right there. And this is two-pronged petal for this side flower. And this is just a smaller version of this, in case I want to go smaller somewhere. A smaller flower, for example. So that's how I broke it down. And I didn't create this big long thing as a stamp because I figured this could just be a line I draw. This stem is just a line that I'm going to draw. So now I have the freedom to create any kind of configuration and any kind of movement I want on my piece of work. So that's pretty cool. So let me show you what that would look like. Here I have just a regular slab of clay, and it's 1/4 of an inch thick slab, stoneware. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, so for right now I'm just going to put a flower on it just to show you the demonstration of how this would work, how I'd put it all together. So I'd start with the middle piece, put that in, and then I'll start adding the petals. And I'm just going to put them in randomly. I'm going to start out with it in fourths and then add as needed. Then I have this little piece that I'm going to put in. And to draw the lines, I use a rubber tipped tool. It's really nice to have these. They prevent the clay boogers. And if I'm going to drape something, it's nice not to have those around. I'm drawing my line out. And the next thing I need to do is add the little dot at the end. So I'm going to use the end of my tool, the needle tool. And I'm just dipping it in some WD-40 on a sponge here, just to make it not stick. So each flower could be different. I could put the petals closer, farther apart, not the same amount. It doesn't have to be static like a one big stamp all the time. And I'm going to draw my other bit. Now I'm going to put the stem in, and you have a bigger rubber tip to do that. So I'm just going to draw it out, put maybe another one up here, and maybe a small flower one right here. So to do the side one, I'm going to start with this bottom of the base of the bud there, and then I'm going to go to my half round and put that on. And once I have that in place, I do my 2-prong petals. Then I go to my 3-prong. 1, 2, 3 it looks like it's going to take. Then I go back and I put the lower petal in. Not sure what that is exactly, but it's part of the design. Then I go back to drawing my lines. Put the dots from the needle tool. Almost done. Now I'm going to put in the small baby flower. I do that with the needle tool again as my center piece, and then I'm just going to go around it with this lower petal piece that I created. Now you go back and touch up the center here. Lastly, I'm going to put on the leaves. So let's do this. Maybe one over this way. Maybe one right here. And one right here. And I'm done. I'm not sure what it'll be yet, but I'll put a picture of it up when I finish the video. Alright, so let me show you now how to break out the design. I have another wood block. It's right here, and I haven't cast it yet. I mean, this is not that bad of a wood block to stamp in. It's not that big, but I like this little piece, and I want it to be a separate design element. So I'm going to focus on this guy. So first thing I'm going to do is I have 2 pieces of slab here. When I'm doing impressions, I like the slabs to be smoothed out so I don't have the texture in the design, the texture of the canvas. So now I'm going to spray the whole wood block. Take off some excess with the sponge. And notice I'm not capturing the whole piece. This piece is much too small for the entire piece. I'm just interested in this middle section right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Some people have their favorite ways of doing this. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, nice and deep. Alright, one of the things you could also do is if you didn't want to press down like that, you could then always just put this on top and roll it in. say you got a much lighter application there, but for this it doesn't really matter so much. Not for what I'm going to do. So I love these impressions here, and this is what I'm going to use. Now this other piece is not a waste to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out, so I'm going to have the outline of the shape. What I want when I do my casting, when I pour the plasters, I want an extra deep mold. So I'm just going to take it and place it over the other one. So now my edges are going to be super deep. I love that. Now I'm going to cut around. And I'm not too worried about this other design in this part right here, because after I cast it I can sand it down in the plaster. What I'll do at this point is create a little clay caudal, which is just a strip of clay that I've rolled. And I'm going to put it around the stamp. Just be sure to seal it very well. You don't want the plaster coming out of it. Check it out. Alright, I'm not completely done yet. I have to turn it over on the bottom. So this clay that I have is reclaimed clay, and it's just dedicated only for plaster work. I will never use it once it's touched plaster, but I will use it over and over again to create my stuff. Alright, not too pretty looking here, but after it's cast, I will sand it down a little bit, and then I'll have my nice little breakaway design. So that's it for now. Take care. See you guys later.